In the heat of the night, engines roar. Blackout gaming, men where legends soar. 26 races for a test. Madness and mayhem, we give our best. Welcome to the Blackout Gaming League. Let's be rivalry, make hearts besiege. From start to finish, it's a relentless fight. In the world of Formula One, where dreams take flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sound of the mic turning off means you know what time it is. It is time for Formula One racing. Oh, yes, it is great to be back on the microphone for each and every single one of you. And, well, let's see what this new season brings. Who can concoct the most creative and crafty results there are to find? Only time will tell. But, of course, being a new season of Blackout and a new game cycle, we are doing all of the races in order, pretty much, in terms of chronological. And Buck57 has already left the session. That is not a good omen. So, look at this. These are your drivers for this evening. Oh my gosh, what a stonker we have for you today. Big Sam is already going out onto the track as one of the first to head his way out for Blackout Season 16. And that marks the dawn of a new season. Many fierce battles to be had. Many rivalries to ignite. Who knows what could happen? That's the beauty of it. And it's set to continue in the race. 5 red lights on Season 16. Lights out and away we go. And it's a good start for Timalele against Ganassi. Looks like a bit too much wheel spin. He's heading down the inside as they toboggan towards turn 1. Timalele in the Mercedes takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. What a start from the Mercedes driver on the medium tyres. Terziak against Milo. There's a big spin for J-Lane. No. In 4th place, started out. Now he's finding himself in 14th place. A disastrous start. Stark's gone up to P5. What a start from him. Magico remains P6. Jamie Tarquin making moves against Big Sam. The other Alfa Romeo's having problems. Vulcan half spins round, facing towards Barrier. Luckily, no damage, just emotional. So, post start to this race, but it is all happening right now. Apparently, I've just gone offline. Is that the case? That's quite weird. Have I gone offline? No. Don't tell me I've gone offline. No. Someone please let me know if that's the case anyway. I've got a failsafe, actually. This is what I'm going to do. Stream and record at the same time. Then they can't lose the footage. Ladies and gentlemen, we return. And we are back. Goodness me, 30 seconds. I'm recording at the same time as well. It's going to be a full-on... Well, it's all opportunities. Timalele somehow still leads this. Well, if Thanassi's 1.6 seconds behind, I am officially from Turkmenistan. Because there's no way that's true. That is all I'm saying. End of lap number 6 then, I will hazard a guess. I don't need to hazard a guess, it's already happened. That the hazard is going off the track, and that is the safety car. 1 car out, Vulcan went diving into Barriar's arms. Barriar gave him a slap across the chops and said, "No sir, take me to dinner first." And Vulcan was not treated kindly. So Stark will lead them away, and we're going to watch on board with Mr. Dirkleton to see when Stark pulls the trigger. When do you choose to pull the trigger? Do you try and do it at the last corner, go for the optimal exit? Do you do it slightly earlier, or slightly later even, to try and catch your opponent off guard? There could be a wily old fox at safety car restarts. Does he go for the optimal line at the restart? No, he doesn't. Could be a concertina. Does it just after the apex. Catches Dirkleton slightly napping. That is a very well-controlled restart. And J-Lane could be right on Dirkleton, dumping every single ounce of the Duracell bunny towards turn number 1. Thanassi's got the jump on Terziak at the restart. Down the inside goes J-Lane on Dirkleton and through into P2. Timalele round the outside of Dirkleton into P3 he goes. Very neat little restart there from the Mercedes Maestro. Thanassi did everything he needed to do against Terziak. So did Milo. Terziak nerfed down to P7. And so the games continue. Massive slide from Dirkleton. Milo round the outside. I thought it was 3 wide, but good grief has Milo done well there. Into into P4. That camera angle's useless. We're going to someone else. Terziak's back off into P6. He's gone round the outside of Thanasi, but he's going to get boxed in by the Aston Martin driver. Is this where he wants to be? Can Thanasi hold it round the outside? You can't fault him for trying. Goodness me. Great racing between these two. Just enough space left. And Thanasi will keep ahead of Terziak. That is some beautiful racing. Terziak diving down the inside. And the prancing horse perfectly judges that particular dive into the left-hander, up into P6. And now we can try and set about getting up the road for Dirkleton once again, who's already out of DRS range of the top 4. Devastation. Timalele thought about wasting no time against J-Lane, but it's almost suicidal trying to move into the final corner. A good exit is all you need, though. Milo is on the grass. He's gone over the DRS board, and that has sent him, well, endoing over the line. And now Dirkleton is going to breeze past him, as it's all good grief. It's like NASCAR. Milo is down into P7 for a brief moment. He is now definitely down into P7. Jesus wept, that got very, very frisky for a brief moment. Timalele up into P2, Terziak up into P4. And, well, DRS is not enabled yet on this lap, but if Terziak can get ahead, that's exactly what he'll want to do. Magico trying to be overtaken by Slam. No, stand tall. Oh, I tried. Big Sam's up into P9, that's pretty cool. Jamie Tarkin with a huge slide out of the left-hander. It is all happening just after this restart to the final corner. He's not wasting time. Could leave himself exposed, though. The slipstream so powerful on this game, and with 3/10 the gap, Thanasi is going to not only tow J-Lane, as Timalele, I have no doubt, will go for the lead. Thanasi going down the inside, squeezed towards the pit wall, but that will not face the two-time champion of Blackout on F1 23. Tim's gone wide. He's gone so wide. A big mistake. Thanasi up into provisional P1 after Stark makes a pit stop, although if there is a safety car, it could get quite tasty. But that is terrible news for Tim. Had it all under control, just had to get the first corner right. Miller, that traction is ridiculous. The heli chopper shot tells you all you need to know. Milo straight through into P4. Timalele, can he go down the inside of J-Lane? No, he won't. Maximus will get him, though. Lovely opportunism. Almost a bit of contact. In fact, I think there was contact. But Maximus won't get the exit he wants. That was almost a fantastic piece of opportunistic driving, but not to be. In other news, Magico is up to P12. But Thanasi, can't say I didn't see it coming, because I certainly did. New tyres, clean air, a fast driver. Of course he's going to get fastest lap. Dirkleton up into P7 with the assistance of DRS. Wilco could try the same thing. Shimmy and shake from Big Sam, and he's trying to go round the outside of absolutely everybody. He thought about it for a brief moment. In fact, he has gone round the outside of Wilco, which is quite unbelievable. And now it's going to get very, very interesting indeed. It's 3 wide towards turn 4. Please don't make a mockery of it. J-Lay's been half spun and now fully spun for good measure. And the big beneficiary is Mr. Magico. Down the inside. Never mind. Well, he was still a big beneficiary, let's put it that way. Now into P9. Wilco is now the head of the DRS train. And after some frosty and frantic manoeuvres, Wilco now takes the lead of the DRS train, although he's the race. And of course, Thanasi is going to pit. Milo will pit. Tim will pit. Terziak will pit. Stark will pit. In fact, forget it. Everyone's going to pit. Who's surprised? I am certainly not. I am certainly not. Surely it's softs to the end for absolutely everybody. Milo on softs. Stark presumably going on to softs. Tim's on softs. Terziak's on mediums. Mediums? Mediums? What? Only questions that science can answer. I don't have the answers yet. Magico will jump Buck 57, which is great news for him. Jamie Tarquin is just ahead of him, but Tarquini has a drive-through penalty, and the field will get bunched up again. So really, it is not all bad. Safety car in this lap then, and how slow does he want to go? The answer is quite. Everybody on soft tyres except for Terziak, which I find very, Very strange indeed. Yeah, oh no, actually there's quite a few drivers on the medium tyres. I stand corrected. Terziak, Maximus, Dirk and Jamie Tarquin on the medium tyres. Everybody else, though, on the softs. Position changes quickly before Thanasi pulls the trigger. Dirkleton, the big beneficiary, 8 positions gained. Well, he had nowhere to go except up because he started last, but got to be in it to win it. And he indeed has. Thanasi pulls the trigger, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back racing in the Blackout Racing League, and my God, what a restart that was. Pretty much a second gained on Milo. Good grief, that is some statement. Anyway, Milo's got to worry about cars behind him. Let's see what the likes of Magico and co can do. He's defending from Buck 57, but they're both trying to go past Jamie Tarquin, who deploys his battery. And that's a huge hit. What on earth happened? There's a huge crash, but there's not. J-Lane's just gone spearing across the track. It's a 10-second penalty. I saw someone spearing off. I couldn't tell who it was because the sun baked my vision. But good grief now, J-Lane with a million-second penalty in the grand scheme of Formula 1. That is not pretty much 2.0. And Terziak, surely on the last lap of this race, will go for 3rd position. So Thanasi crosses the line to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. Terziak, the Flying Scotsman, has bided his time. He has waited patiently. And with DRS open, we thought the medium tyres was an interesting gamble as Buck 57 has spun again. Terziak pile drives down the inside. And the prancing horse is up into P3, but not a great exit. Milo has a chance to reclaim this. Terziak defending the inside. Milo will go round the outside, or try as he might. Terziak will try and nudge him wide to the outside, and he does so. Maximus has had a problem. Milo tried to switch back, but covered off again by Terziak, as Milo sort of misjudged it. Magico's now up into P9. Good grief, it's going all his way. Terziak will still have to defend this, though. Milo's not done yet. He will use every ounce of battery, every single little droplet of his rubber on his tyres left. He will pound those Pirellis into Narnia just to have a chance at reclaiming P3. It's a decent little exit and deploying the ERS. He has one more chance down the inside. Sort of scares Terziak offline, but it's not enough. And it's a slide from Milo to seal the deal for the Flying Scotsman. And whether or not he wants to keep that name, feel free to message me after the race. But some scripts write themselves. And in the season where I have, well, been given a lifetime ban in the words of Wilco, Thanasi has stepped up and reclaimed the winning crown. He crosses the line to win the first race of season 16. Timolele with great race pace, but it just did not work out for him. There's still another chance tonight, though. Terziak will round out the podium. Milo's so close yet so far. Stark, Dirkleton, Big Sam and Wilco next to finish. A great result for Big Sam. Well done to my husband. Maximus next across the line in P10. And then we wait for J-Lane. Crossing the line he goes. He cut turn 1 quite badly. I don't think it was necessarily his fault. The stewards think it was, though. He will finish the race in P12. Buck 57 will finish in 11th. And after that race, he definitely will want a big snack from that place. Jamie Tarquin, the final one to cross the line. There he is. He's weaving like he's just won the championship. And he has won the wooden spoon today. So congratulations, my friend. Tell you what, I will stamp the point home. It's a good day for the Xbox boys. P1 and P7 for Big Sam. Well, all that remains for us to do now is just wait around a little bit. Because next up... oh, God, it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And you can probably guess that that is going to be chaos, completely uncontrollable. And I am so looking forward to it. That is race 1 out of 2 done for tonight. It's great to be back on the microphone here for the Blackout Racing League. For now, enjoy the music. Predictions for the race win, throw them all out the window. I actually have no idea who's going to win this race. I'll make a prediction right now. I think Wilco's going to win. I think Wilco is going to win this race. I've said it. Let it come alive. But whatever the case, no matter what, it's going to be a cracker here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I should note, I drove there last season. There was about 65 safety cars. I pit under pretty much every single one of them. And that was a mistake. Sometimes you don't want to pit. Sometimes there's such a small gap. If you play the game right and gamble correctly, you can actually play the game to perfection. But who will take the top honours in Saudi Arabia? Lights out and away we go as Tim got a good start. Yes, he has. A lot of wheel spin from Thanasi. Tim covers the inside line. Thanasi backs out of it immediately. And Wilco's been left a really wide open avenue and sweeps into P2. Terziak into 4th. Starks down into 5th. Buck 57 in 6th. Milo in 7th. J-Lane's had a terrible start. And oh no, Ferrari off. Terziak's had a massive issue. Magico is up into P6. Look at this man go. On the hard tyres, he's gone for a very interesting contra strategy. I must say that is mighty impressive, although that's wider than Uzbekistan through that corner, so we'll ignore that. But immediately, Wilco and Tim are absolutely on it. It's not enabled until the start of the next lap, because we are not, well, the end of this lap, in fact, because we are not on F124. DRS, though, is enabled now, and J-Lane has the fastest lap of the race as Milo tries to go round the outside of Buck 57. He started on the hards, but cleverly holds it round. The momentum in the Red Bull man's favour, and now it's side by side into the left-hander. We know what happened last time between Terziak and Stark. Luckily, no such calamities between these two. Buck 57 keeps how firm of a grasp? I was going to say a firm grasp, but how firm of a grasp really is it? Because Milo and J-Lane are all over the back of him. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1. Jamie Tarquin's out. Big Sam's out as well. What on earth's gone on there? It's been a huge collision towards the end of that sweeping section. Again, I've missed it. I'm a fraud. I'm so sorry. Staying up, Magico choosing to play the team game here on this particular occasion. Perhaps trying to get Tim Alele the ultimate result, but he's got a very, very hungry Wilco behind him. I'll say that is a very, very late call for a safety car. It is in at the end of this lap. Please slow down, lads. You're going to have a massive accident. Luckily, people have ghosted, so it's okay. That got very, very tasty indeed, but Tim will lead us away, and now we wait to see when he pulls the trigger with the viewpoint of Buck 57 in the sister Red Bull car to his brother in P5. When does Tim pull the trigger? The safety car's not in the pits yet. Now he goes, and already Dirkleton is into the pits. Once again, he's getting out of this restart train, and Wilco is already going to try and get past Magico. Down the inside he goes, and up into P3. The Williams man goes straight away, but Magico can still do a job in the team game against Thanasi and Milo through this first sector. He doesn't have to go hyper-aggressive. Going over that curb was hyper-aggressive in that particular instance. But Terziak, the aggressive soft tyre strategy, is already past Vulcan, and now firmly has set his sights on Maximus up ahead. Out of that corner, it's a very, very great exit. A monumental exit from Terziak. The Flying Scotsman has every right to sweep round the outside. He's going to try every which way, and it's a phenomenal exit. And through into P8 goes the Ferrari man, gaining a couple of positions instantaneously. Stark right on the back of Vulcan as well. There are many, many moves that are going to be executed. As Vulcan makes a slight mistake, Stark will have the switchback. Does he dare to dream and make the move into this left-hander? I think he will, you know. The exit was so much more powerful. The superior momentum has propelled Stark forwards into P10, and so now Terziak's quest for more continues as he is hunkering down straight in the diffuser of J-Lane, practically pushing him round the track, but J-Lane himself is going for a dive on Milo. That was very, very lastminute.com, but I'll tell you what, sign me up for that URL, because that was very tasty. J-Lane can't get it done though. It's compromised his flow all the way through and down the straight. Terziak deploying battery all the while, diving down the inside of J-Lane. J-Lane does leave the space. Can Terziak go around the outside? No, he can't. J-Lane defends extremely well, and Tim Alele has not had a great restart, particularly on that first lap anyway. Through the first sector he goes though, flowing it very nicely indeed, and Buck 57 losing time hand over fist, and Wilco is right on the back of him, deploying the ERS all the way down this straight. Magico has stayed ahead of Thanasi for the entire lap, by the way. What a man. What a man. Magico is doing God's work in that second Mercedes as Terziak goes down the inside of J-Lane, up into P7. J-Lane nipping at his heels like a hungry honey badger, but only for so long, because Terziak has now sealed the deal And unlike Big Sam, it's not a dead seal. He is very much alive and flopping his way through into P7, which actually probably sounds more insulting. Back to Wilco then. Another driver who is practically pushing others round the track. Buck 57 with a small mistake, and Wilco does not need a second invitation. He will absolutely munch that meal up. Gobble the first, second, third and dessert courses all day long. Round the outside, hardly any space for Buck 57 to work with, but it's just enough. So there's not humongous contact, and Thanasi displaced by Milo, who now will take full advantage, and through he goes on Magico, surely. There he goes, academic slipstream, and Thanasi will remain frustrated behind that second Mercedes car, but that first Mercedes car has another thing to worry about. Fresher tyres, the Williams car. In some cases, it can work if you're in the right place at the right time. Wilco has bided his time extremely well. Buck 57 is out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And we can actually see what happened. He must have hit the inside wall because he spun round, facing the wrong way. And it is another safety car. And Timalele's bacon is well and truly saved on this occasion. Don't count him out of potential fairy tale here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. There's every chance something very, very miraculous happens indeed. Apparently the safety car, there it is. The safety car is in this lap, and that is great news because now we can head back into the big time and see what these drivers can concoct. On board with Milo then, we are going to find out when Wilco pulls the trigger with his fingers. Although if he's playing upside down on his rig, that would be very impressive. So I sincerely hope it's his right foot doing the work. Saudi Arabia will soon ignite to the sounds of the symphony of the V6 turbo hybrid. Wilco, I believe, has pulled the trigger. No, he hasn't. No, he has not. That right there is blue balling at its finest from the Baku bomber. But off he goes now. Trigger is pulled and away we go for more racing. I want an interval gap. And we are back on the way for racing at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. J-Lane thought about making a move, but no one really capitalising on anybody's track position. Timalele thinking about it though. Vulcan with a mistake. Through goes Tim. Through goes Thanasi. Maybe through goes Terziak as well if he's feeling brave, but not brave enough. And I don't blame him because that was a gap that was always going to close. So well decided, my man. Wilco already storming into a 7/10 gap up at the front. Magico doing God's work again. Trying to defend as J-Lane goes wider towards Kazakhstan. Probably isn't a great idea. Stark being overtaken by Timalele. Down the inside on the fresh hard tyres and easily past he goes. Thanasi will take advantage, snake his way up the inside as well. Although choosing not to try and go for the outside line on the right-hander because that is a suicide mission. And there's things I can't say to that, but Magico has already developed a 2-second gap up at the front. He's just backing the cars up. He's letting his teammate into this little battle. J-Lane is going to try and get through before the left-hander. Magico will just defend the inside, though. You know he will. J-Lane with a cracking move, though. Holds it round the outside. Tim will surely be allowed through. But he's got a different problem. Thanasi is trying to get all involved in this. Timalele will be let through. Huge crash. Magico. Timalele in the wall. Magico's out. Tim's round. Thanasi's round. That was always going to happen. The haste of the Mercedes drivers to try and execute the teamwork has been completely nullified because Timalele in the barriers. He's going to surely pit. He does pit. Thanasi will surely have to pit. Magico pays the ultimate price. He's out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And Wilco into the pit lane he goes. Of course, he's already been on the soft tyres. For some reason, waits quite a while to get out, but when he does, it is well executed. And the Williams team with almost a perfect double stack for Mr. Stark as well, as through he goes. And well, if there was such a thing as replays, if I had the manpower and the willpower and the brain power to be able to garner up the replay of that particular incident, I don't blame Thanasi for trying to go for the gap. I think Magico was... Yeah, well, I think... Well, the thing is, on my point of view, I think Magico tried to play it really smart. The only way we'll ever know exactly what was going on is from Thanasi's point of view. I kind of wish I was on it now, but unfortunately I wasn't. The safety car is showing no signs of relinquishing. Never mind, safety car is in. Thank Christ for that. We are back. This time, Milo leading the field. Timalele led the previous 2 safety car restarts. No, it was Wilco, actually. My apologies. It was Timalele, Wilco, and... now Milo. That's the one. It's called brain rot for some reason. Anyway, on board with J-Lane. When will Milo put his finger on the trigger? Except he doesn't play on a controller, so when will he put his pedal to the metal? That is the question. Maybe. Oh no! A little bit of a skirmish between these two as J-Lane does a Max Verstappen, gets alongside, and that's cost him horribly. J-Lane caught hugely napping, and Milo has got the absolute restart of dreams, and we are go again in Blackout. Terziak is going to dive down the inside of J-Lane straight away then. Down the inside, but J-Lane actually defends it extremely well, and Maximus is now going to try and capitalise. That is brilliant opportunism once again. Seems to be my phrase of the day for him as he tries to go round the outside of the left-hander. He's gone round the outside of the left-hander. Magico trying to go round the outside of the double right. It's not happened, and he's just going to have to wait a little bit longer, but Terziak bottoms out on the curb, and like Tony Hawk, he skated through there, and Wilco says thank you very much. Up into P4 I go. And now the Flying Scotsman exposed from St. German. Round the outside goes Timalele. Up into P5 briefly, although not the greatest mid-corner. But the exit is vastly superior. And on he goes. Already the Milo has garnered 2.7 seconds worth of an advantage. The McLaren man's in dreamland. He's like, where's everyone gone? Maximus is trying it on J-Lane. J-Lane's tried to do it previously to other drivers. However, now the Irishman is trying to go for something very, very fruity indeed. As now a 4-car train develops. J-Lane, Maximus, Wilco, Tim, Terziak, Vulcan as Thanasi gets ahead of Dirk up into P9 and is going to try and get past Stark into P8 as well. He's in his villain arc and he's on the soft tyres to boot. As round the outside he goes, he leaves the space. Can he get the traction sorted out? It's actually not got a great exit initially, and Stark will actually be given slipstream from Vulcan. Doesn't really matter though. Thanasi's going past not just 1 car. He thought about 2 cars, but Vulcan is going for a move down the inside of Terziak. Thought about it. He's going to have to hold it round the outside though, and Thanasi's going to try and get a good exit, but it's not good enough. Wilco up into P3, and now, oh no! Wilco's had a massive problem. Front wing gone. He waits patiently for the other drivers. Just reverses a little bit so he doesn't, well, clatter into barrier. But that is absolute devastation for him. We look up ahead to see what's happened. Thanasi's up into P6. Gone astronomically wide in all of this. And now Maximus is back up into P3 and chasing down J-Lane again. God, it's all happening here in Jeddah. And so we carry on. Miller with a 2.6 second gap out in front on the medium tyres. Maximus, though, is on the move. And by on the move, I mean wider than your mum. Sorry, that was very rude. Tim in P3. J-Lane out of DRS range already, and now he's got 2 very, very hungry sharks in Terziak and Thanasi. Oh no! J-Lane's crashed, and that's surely another safety car. Wilco has been saved. It's the 4th safety car here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And now the big question. Do you pit or do you stick? Vulcan leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Absolutely everyone is coming into the pits. So it's going to be a straight fight to the end of this race. Maximus onto the medium tyres, and away he goes. As Stark comes into this. I forgot about the second Williams. I apologise, Stark. Into P5 he comes out. As Tim's all the way down in P... What on earth happened to Tim? Wilco said Leroy time, and I blame you. Sorry. Let's see if it ends off that way, though. Safety car will inevitably be in at the end of this lap. And then Vulcan can lead us away. Irishman in first, Irishman in third. How old are his tyres, though? Oh, dear. Now, this could be quite grisly. Although, Vulcan is a grizzly bear. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. And he's on medium, so perhaps with the offset between the soft tyres wearing and the medium tyres wearing, he could concoct something pretty fruity indeed. On board with Milo then. Let's see when Vulcan pulls the trigger, whether he decides to go for the optimal final corner line. Go slightly wider, but nothing dramatic. Milo right under his diffuser. Watching brief just in case. The safety car just crosses the pit line. When will Vulcan pull the trigger? Just weaving about a little bit. Milo trying to anticipate when he pulls it, but he hasn't anticipated it enough. And we are go again at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What a restart from Stark as he looks to try and make moves on Thanasi. It's not going to happen. Terziak, though, is making moves, and that is quite a heinous move. Down the inside of Dirkleton. Contact made, and now Wilco. That's a lovely switchback from Wilco. Good grief. Dirkleton going to try and hold it down the inside. That was almost suicidal. But, well, at the end of the day, he did keep it. Milo's in the lead, meanwhile, and now it's Maximus's turn, and he's on fresh mediums again. That is very interesting. And why have you done that? You've actually ruined my day, computer. Back up looking at the action, and Thanasi is apparently 3 seconds behind. Maximus trying to go around the outside of Vulcan. That could have got very interesting indeed. Instead, he says, I'll have a nice touch of switchback with that. And I'll tell you what, he thought about it and gave it a damn good go. Tim's right on the fringes of passing Mr. Thanasi once again here. And if Thanasi 3.7, Wilco's now up into P7. Wilco is a man on a mission here with just 6 laps to go of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Terziak must have made a mistake because Dirkleton even has managed to make his way past. Milo's found himself with a very, very nice gap up at the front once again. But Vulcan's defense and resistance can only last for so long. Maximus will make his way up into P2. Thanasi will try and go around the outside to get P3, but it's not going to happen. That was so close to skating over the curbs. Luckily, he doesn't do such a thing. Big crash. Timolele's in the wall. And what on earth happened to Vulcan? He's had massive problems. Luckily, he's still facing the right way. It's a swipe on the Mercedes man. And has he got front wing damage? I can't see any to speak of. Stark's through into P4. We're going to have to find out with just how well he can keep up with the Williams driver. But it's another fork in the road for the Mercedes driver. The pole sitter has had the absolute, hasn't had the rub of the green at all. It's been completely the opposite to what you would have anticipated, as Terziak's all over the back of Dirkleton, snipping at those rear Pirelli tyres. Ferrari man deploying the battery, and he's got lots of it to use. Goes to the outside line. Will garner a bit of slipstream from Wilco up ahead. And surely by the time he makes the corner, he's through. And he's going to dive it on Wilco for good measure. Massive contact made. And Wilco's had a little moment into the barrier. Terziak's had a moment of his own. Good grief, it is all happening here at Jeddah. Again, Milo is in a world of his own. He doesn't even need to think about attempting anything overzealous. Can just coast this to the end, to be honest with you. Maximus is right on Timolele, but Stark is right on Maximus. Oh no! Front wing off for Maximus. I saw the end plate go absolutely flying into space. And if there was any hope of an Irish flag on the podium, that you could say goodnight Irene to that one. Front wing end plate has been completely destroyed on that Haas car. And, well, it could leave him vulnerable. Timolele has thought Thanasi's vulnerable. Sliding into turn number 1. Timolele massively over the curbs, trying to get through. Massive traction loss on the exit. Somehow only loses 4 thousandths to Milo, though. Thanasi very aggressively shops the door closed against Timolele, trying to deploy some battery of his own. But resistance is surely futile. Tim goes to the outside, my apologies, and he sweeps round the Red Bull driver. Timolele through into P2, and now he has to try and get up the road as quickly as possible, but with an exit like that, Thanasi's going to try and go for it, and he tries to get back ahead. Timolele's so brave on the brakes, and Thanasi is practically squeezed off the track. That was very, very aggressive. To the podium battle, but I tell you what is certainly signed, sealed, delivered. This McLaren man doesn't even have to do anything through the final corner. He's already celebrating before the line. It's a masterclass from Milo. He wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Tim will just hold on to P2. Thanasi will claim a podium after all of that, but there could be a dark cloud of the stewards looming over his head yet. We have no idea. Stark will claim P4, Terziak 5th, Maximus will gain 6th, despite the front wing damage. Dirkleton in P7, and clap. Vulcan to finally cross the line to claim P8. Even after the tumultuous race he might have had at times, it's still 8. And that is solid points for the Irishman. And there you are. Look at those, looking through binoculars because the rest of the grid were nowhere. Timalele in P2. He's got 2 second places and a fastest lap to his name as well. So that's pretty good on the whole for him, it must be said. Thanasi in P3 rounds off the podium. Stark in 4th. Terziak rounds out the top 5. He had a bit of an up and down race on the whole, a roller coaster ride, but the roller coaster ride took him to some decent points nonetheless. Maximus in 6th, Dirkleton in 7th, with Vulcan in 8th. We then have a lot of DNFs. Wilco and J-Lane, I believe, will still score points, but then it's Magico, Buck57, Big Sam, and Jamie Tarquin, who did not finish this race. 6 drivers crashing out or having problems at the Jeddah circuit. And some of it was just a little bit controversial. But like I say, it's a community league, so let's not start fisticuffs. Let's not uppercut our neighbour. Thou shalt treat thy neighbour as thyself. If thou shalt give an uppercut, thou shalt receive an equally aggressive uppercut. And apparently it's week 1 of a very, very long season to come. And you can best believe that I am looking forward to every single moment that it has in store. Well,
Welcome to the Blackout Racing.